that I think these weeks over the trial is that neighbors really stepped up to look after one another. Businesses were looking out after each other. Neighbors were looking out after each other. And so that, again, as Assistant Commissioner Hodges said, which is so resolute about Minnesotans, we were looking after each other. And so that will continue. But they can certainly continue to call 911 if they have any issues or concerns that are of immediate needs to be addressed. But our Minneapolis CPED and other city enterprise organizations are still there for them. But we're still going to continue to do our patrols and look out after their property and businesses.
And then lastly,
Yeah.
can someone speak to a dollar amount as far as the overall cost and expenses that went into Operation Safety Net when it comes to securing the government center downtown, bringing in all these National Guard, bringing in extra law enforcement? Is there a dollar amount that went into what all that cost?
I will just say that I don't have an exact dollar amount for you at this time. Our individual jurisdiction financial folks are still making sure that we're categorizing that, making sure we're documenting that. At some point in time, whether that's through the state and our local, the county, and certainly Minneapolis Police and Metro Transit, we will have those figures for you. We are certainly documenting those ourselves. Just I don't have those figures for you right now.
Can we expect a similar security presence for the trial in August as the other three officers should that trial go forward as well?
So even though, as our leaders here have talked about, we're at phase 4, demobilization, our planning and communication hasn't stopped. That will be ongoing. So we are actually looking at the plans for the anticipated dates of this August for those trials. So we'll look at what that is. Phase 1 of this phase was doing those assessments, doing that pre-planning. So we will all be back at the table again, planning in preparation for August. So yeah.
How long can we expect the razor wire and jersey barriers to remain up in downtown Minneapolis, particularly around the government center?
The question was, how long are we going to have the fences up around the government center? That is being talked about now. We will take those down within the next few days or weeks. It really depends on the contractor and their availability. We have to keep some safety measures in place until we feel comfortable, but I think the citizens of Minneapolis and Hennepin County will see change just as soon as we can get the contractors squared away, because again, throughout the whole Twin Cities we have fencing up. So as soon as we can, and that should be as soon as we get word.
Does that mean we won't see fences in place for the August trial?
No, we're going to plan on that. Each day, like the chief said, we're still planning. We're going to have meetings once a week. So if, in fact, we feel the need for fences, there will be fences back up because they did their job, which is to protect the government center, our jail, and the city hall, which we have a large amount of inmates and staff that we had to protect.
And as you guys are pulling out, I think back to this summer, sometimes things can kind of sporadically pop up. Talk about the plan to respond to things that might be coming down the road sporadically.
And like the chief and the colonel and National Guard general said, we're not sending everybody home. We have plans in place, so if these issues arise, one thing this has taught us is we need each other, and we will be there for the citizens of Minneapolis, the state, and of course Hennepin County. So each day we're planning on the what-ifs, like you said, ma'am, and I'm comfortable that we have the ability to respond in a safe, secure manner for the citizens of our great county.
Sheriff, what have you learned from this whole process here? I know Colonel Langer kind of talked about it a little bit. There were some lessons learned, and Colonel, feel free to step in if you want to here. But what are some of the lessons you all have learned here, and do you feel that Operation Safety Net was a success?
I feel that within the county and our state partners and other local partners, it was a success. When we talk about property protection details, they were successful. When we talk about preserving life and property, etc., it was successful. What we learned, I can speak for myself, and my partners can add in if they wish, is we need the community involvement. We need law enforcement. We need public safety. We need the National Guard. But also, we need people who are leaders in their communities, not just community activists or community groups. We also need leadership from our state lawmakers to our county commissioners to our city council. We need to have everybody accountable, and the mission is one thing: to keep people safe. It shouldn't have anything to do with politics or any of that. It's to keep people safe, and I wish that upon everybody within our communities, because when that happens, we're successful like we were yesterday.
Are any of the ongoing conversations with Operation Safety Net surrounding crowd control tactics? I know there was a lot of pushback about should tear gas be used, should rubber bullets be used, a lot of conversation around that. So is that part of the conversation moving forward? Is that something you revisit? Is that something you guys are looking at?
Absolutely. When the community speaks, we listen, and the community wasn't happy about some of our tactics, we'll revisit them. But it all comes back to how can we manage large crowds of people safely while maintaining the safety of, let's say, a building or our staff. So we're in processes of learning to do better. Again, we had to do and make difficult decisions under very, very difficult situations with little time to plan.
Speaking of injuries, I mean, we know a couple National Guardsmen were shot at. Are there any other notable, injuries or encounters on any of the levels that are noteworthy?
Are you talking about for our staff or for the community? Yeah, we had many deputies hurt, one very severely with a brick to his face. He's a broken nose and has some stitches, I believe. We had other minor injuries, twisted knees, a brick to the foot, etc. So, again, we want to get better. So hopefully this never happens again, what we had the last week or last year. But each day we're learning. We're just like any other profession, any other group of people. We're not perfect, but every day we strive to be better than the day before. And I think this is kind of not only with Operation Safety Net, all this stuff, it's with policing in general. We want to do better. We're for common sense reform. I can speak for myself and most of my colleagues. But again, if we want common sense reform, we want to do better, we're going to have to do better with our elected officials in the state and county and city governments to come to a common denominator. Yes, we can do a better job, but yes, we still have to prevent violent crime from happening in our communities when this is all said and done. So there's a balance, and I'm hoping we can come to that balance for 100% the people that we serve. And again, I keep using that term. The people we serve are who is important to us.
Deputy, or Sheriff, the deputy that was struck in the face, I take it that was outside the Brooklyn Center Police Station. When did that happen? What day did that happen? Can you recall?
It was in Brooklyn Center. I don't know the day. I think early on.
Okay, and it was a broken nose, one deputy?
Yeah, I believe that was his injuries, but there's several other minor injuries as well.
Colonel Langer, I saw you moved towards the podium. Were you going to speak to injuries as well?
Yes, sir. I was just going to add that we had 10 state troopers that suffered minor injuries, and then there was also some DNR conservation officers that also suffered some injuries. And so we reflect on that, and we know that other people care about the people that are there to keep people safe, and that's part of our whole mission, is to keep everybody safe, including our own staff and the journalists and the citizens that are out protesting. So that's part of the whole discussion. When I say we're reflective and we're a learning organization, we look at that and figure out ways that things can be done differently to ensure that we're preventing those things from happening.
Colonel Langer, while you're there, whatever happened with the troopers from Ohio and Nebraska? Did they make it to Minnesota? How many of them arrived, and are they on their way home? What's the status there?
So an EMAC request was made, and we did get a response from the Ohio State Highway Patrol and the Nebraska State Patrol. About 100 individuals from Ohio came, about 28 came from Nebraska. That was planning for the worst case scenario to provide additional surge capacity in light of the crisis that unfolded in Brooklyn Center that was layered on top of the Operation Safety Net plan. I'm happy to report they came. We trained them in. When they got here, I said, my hope for you is that you go home having done nothing, because that's success, and that is what they've done. So they helped us with security at the state capitol. The Nebraska state troopers are already on their way home, and Ohio is making plans right now to move as quickly as possible back to their home state.
And how long were they here?
They arrived, my days have gotten blurry this week. They arrived Monday afternoon, Monday evening.
Okay, thank you.
Can anyone speak to just quickly
Last question.
how you communicated with business owners yesterday when you heard that a verdict was coming down? Was there
Yeah, the question was how we've been able to communicate with business owners when we knew or had information that a verdict was coming down. So one of the things that we had done for quite some time was I can say that, for example, Lake Street business owners and Broadway and others, is that we were really about being forward-facing, informing them about what our response was going to be and what they could expect to see when we got into phase 3, which was really about that jury verdict decision. And so they were, and also our weekly press conferences, that we were alerting our communities that they were going to see a more robust presence. They would see more of the General Manke's citizen soldiers out there along the Broadway, Lake Street, downtown Nicollet Mall corridors. And so the vast majority of our business owners, they knew what to come time of the verdict. We, of course, had to get information from once it was announced when it was coming, but they knew what was going to be in place, what resources were going to be activated, and so that's how we got the information. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Good morning to you, Mr. Speaker.
Good morning.
Good morning. Yes, she was in the crowd and she was interviewed. It was after curfew. She violated curfew. And she was interviewed about the Chauvin trial. Listen to what she said.
I would like to see the bill in Congress passed on police reform, but I know that the right wing, the racists, are opposed to it, and I don't know what's going to happen to it. Oh no, not manslaughter. No. This is guilty for murder. I don't know whether it's in the first degree, but as far as I'm concerned, it's first degree murder. We got to stay on the street, and we've got to get more active. We've got to get more confrontational. We've got to make sure that they know that we mean business.
Newt, she said stay on the streets, get more active, get more confrontational. What are your thoughts?
Well, first of all, I don't think it's racist for a black small business owner to not want their small business burned down. I think this whole absurdity that as a civilization, you either provide safety or you dissolve. And we've had both with Rashida Tlaib, who called for abolishing the police and eliminating prisons, which is a position of utter insanity. And now, of course, you have Waters, who has always been on the left. But what's happened with every passing, the more patient we are, the more radical they are. So you have over a year of violence in Portland, Oregon. You have an expectation of violence. Why should we expect violence if the criminal justice system works? Why should we tolerate violence? Why should we tolerate National Guardsmen being shot at? I think we have to really rethink our whole approach to
6 seconds like that. And we are not police officers, and they're not all, horrendous people who are out to kill black people. But if you watch the tape over and over again, I mean, he came out and immediately pulled out his gun, even before she had picked up that knife. And I firmly believe, if it was a different neighborhood and a different skin color, he might have thought differently. So you could disagree. You could say, Jordan, it's black or white. She was about to stab another girl. But you are deciding not to consider what came before that, which you don't know. And you're lying to yourself if you don't know. The facts aren't out. We don't know who these girls were that came to this foster home. We don't know if they had weapons. We don't know if they tried to stab Makia or her grandmother or other people in that home. I mean, if you want to lie and say you do know, but we don't. And, the truth is, this officer just joined the force in 2019. He's only on the force for 2 years. So I don't think it's cut and dry. listen, at the end of the day, if it comes out that Makia was the instigator here and these other girls weren't trying to do anything towards her, then I would probably feel a little bit differently. But we don't know that. And I just find it really rich that all of these right wingers and trolls. Oh my God, Jen! If that was in, if that's in a white neighborhood, and there's an intruder in a white person's home, they might be singing a much different tune if the white person tried to stab the person attacking their family. But in this case, it's a black 16-year-old child, and case closed. She was about to stab her. Do we need to wait to know? Should we wait to know if they tried to stab her? Should we wait to know if they tried to stab her grandmother? Should we wait to know if they had weapons? Doesn't matter. She was about to stab them. Case closed. Blue Lives Matter. Like, go fuck yourself, honestly.
Right. And that's the thing. I thought that this would go a lot more viral. And by this, I'm talking about, do you have it, Jordan, the Blue Lives Matter clip? I can find it if not. I thought that this clip would go a lot more viral because no matter how you feel or where you fall on this issue, it is completely abhorrent that as Makia's dead body just shot by police, no matter whether you think it was a justified shooting or not, it is a tragedy that a child is laying there dead, bleeding on the ground. There is another body cam footage that was just released. There were 3 released, and we just got the other 2 today. That is even more devastating than the one we showed. And you can see Makia lying there, struggling for breath, and it is horrifying and horrible. So that's not the video that I'm talking about. I'm just setting the scene here. So as that was happening, as she was laying there dying, this police officer, I don't believe it's the one who shot her, but as people were standing around,
I have it if you want me.
As she's dying, this police officer says, "Blue Lives Matter."
Here, let me show it. And if you're going to be a troll, leave a super chat. It's okay. We could disagree. But, if you're going to take up real estate in our super chat, feel free to leave one. Here we go.
Yep. That is so fucked up. I'm so sorry, baby. I'm so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry.
I heard my brother heard 8 shots.
Yeah, and I heard 4, and I ran out. My 2-year-old was out here, bro. Like the fuck that shit.
Your 2-year-old could have got
Yeah,
shot.
she was right here. Where my red car at?
Yeah, because I just happened to look out my front door. I saw that cop car, 9142, sitting out there.
On Legion out east. Yeah, so.
Blue Lives Matter. Crazy.
Yep.
Insult. Especially at this place right now.
Yeah, it's definitely an insult. You sound stupid as fuck, bitch. Fuck.
That flag is a Blue Lives Matter flag.
The fuck, that girl just got shot. Did he just say that? He said, well, Blue Lives Matter? He just said that? Boy, shut the fuck up, because Blue Lives don't matter right now. I don't want to hear none of that dumb shit. The fuck is you talking about? The fuck, this 15-year-old just got killed, and you're talking about Blue Lives Matter? Get the fuck serious, bro. He shot her because she had a knife. He got out and didn't ask no motherfucking questions, and you talking about Blue Lives Matter? Man, get the fuck.
She was defending herself on her property. Someone was trying to attack her.
Exactly. And she defended herself, and she gets shot.
So a few things. Number one, I just want to be clear. I don't know if the cop said Blue Lives Matter or there were reports that one of them was wearing a Blue Lives Matter mask. So I don't know if he said it because I couldn't hear it or he had a Blue Lives Matter.
I heard it.
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah, you can hear him say it.
Oh, because I thought I heard Blue Lives Matter coming from the guy that got angry.
You can hear the cop say it.
Okay, then let's add hearing to the additional list of my health problems. I didn't hear it. Okay, then
Yeah, you can hear it.
That's horrendous, and it goes to this, frankly, sociopathic psyche of these police. Because honestly, that you're going to say that as this girl's bleeding out, whether you feel it's justified or not, I mean, that is the white dominance and the white supremacy of a lot of these officers. To say shit like that in that moment is disgusting. But those neighbors, what they were saying, it's actually what Jen and I have been saying. She was defending herself from everything we know. She was the one who called the police. So it's not black or white. You know, you could say, well, what did you want the officer to do? Let the other girl get stabbed? Well, I showed you the video several times that he had an opportunity before she picked up that knife and appeared to about to lunge. He had an opportunity several seconds before that to make a different choice, whether it be a taser or spraying them or a warning shot or and several other options. But right away, he had his gun out and he shot her 4 times, which is another question. Why would you shoot her 4 times? So it is not black or white either way. I'm not saying it's if Makia was not under attack, if these other girls were not attempting to stab her or anything else, then yeah, it's not justified that she would try to stab another girl. But we don't know. That's the point. You just don't know. And by the neighbors' accounts, by the early media accounts we have, and by the 911 call, unconfirmed, but according to the reports, it was Makia on her property that was being threatened. And she said in the 911 call, they're trying to stab us. So again, it's quite the rich hypocrisy from these, Blue Lives Matter snowflakes who suddenly it's a black child on her property who, as far as we know, was under threat of violence, but she didn't have a right to defend herself. It's just, there's nothing more to say. It's bold hypocrisy. And, I'm first to say, if new information comes out, I'm happy to adjust my view on it. But my view is simple. This would not have happened in a nice white neighborhood. And it goes to the point, there's a lot of black people in this country that will not call the police for this very reason. There's a lot of black people that will not call the police for this very reason. And I said to John, full behind the scenes, we said to John this morning, yeah, we're not going to send you there yet because we don't know all the facts, and we're not going to spend the money. A flight was $500 to send him from Minneapolis to Columbus. We're not going to send you there to cover it until we know more of the facts. So that's kind of where I'm at, Jen. And I think, to me, obviously the viewership right now is a lot of, right wingers and Blue Lives Matter folks. But the truth is, you get to realize with these people, a lot of them in the chat right now, it doesn't matter if it's Makia. A lot of these people think Derek Chauvin was justified. Jesus, right. Carlson last night was like crying crocodile tears for Derek Chauvin. So a lot of these people, there's no point in even discussing it with them because it's just a blanket immunity, mental immunity, and mental gymnastics they have for police. So I did show the body cam footage. You weren't here in the beginning. I could show it one more time. For those of you
thank you guys for the super chats. Keep them coming. They do fall off the screen, so we apologize if we don't get to yours. Maria, we want to address this $5 of super chat. Thank you. You're wrong about who called 911. That is incorrect. They have not officially released who has called 911. So your statement is just simply incorrect. The information that we have right now is all we can go off of. And so the family has said that Makia called 911. As we have said, if information changes, then we will correct our reporting. So that's all we have to go off of right now. And then you continue on saying, see, it was someone else. It's tragic that she is dead, but I'm glad the girl in pink didn't get stabbed. I am also glad that she didn't get stabbed, but it should not be like no one should be dead right now. That's my
right. And I've prefaced at least 5 times that the police have not confirmed who who made the 911 call, but news reports said it was Makia. So all I could go on is the news reports that Makia called the police, but it's not confirmed. So I don't know who called the police. Could have been somebody in Makia's home. Could have been Makia. We don't know. But that 911 call is clear. There is confrontation going on during that 911 call. You could hear the commotion. It sounds like there are other people. Like, I don't know if they're intruders in the foster home or they live in the foster home. We don't know. But it definitely, there is a person on the call saying they're trying to fight us. They're trying to stab us. So again, I think this one is not cut and dry. And I think YouTube and media in general, there is a bias towards just hot takes. And pick a side, damn the facts. I'm just giving you my nuanced view. And I'm not like a studio jock. I've been out covering police brutality in Texas, in Chicago, Detroit, Baltimore, St. Louis. I've been arrested covering police brutality. I have never up close seen one of these shootings, but I've spoken with enough people and covered this enough to know a lot of these situations are very black and white. This one is not. But I just, honestly, I think for those that are just looking at that split second in the film, that she was lifting a knife, and you're making your determination that it was justified just based on that, you're kind of missing the forest from the trees. Is that the way to say it? The trees for the forest?
Yeah, you said it right. You're missing the forest for the trees.
Because-
A lot of people pointed out yesterday on Twitter, this is the damn fastest we've ever seen some body cam footage, and I wonder why.
Right. And I will say, a lot of these instances, not just this one, you see a police officer roll up and literally within seconds pull out a gun. So this one, you could say, well, Jordan, she was about to stab someone. Well, I've already given you my view. There was several seconds before she lifted that knife to lunge where he already had his gun out. So I believe in those several seconds, he could have made a different choice to de-escalate the situation, to spray, to taser, to do anything that was not lethal. And you can't explain to me, if you want to argue he had to use the gun, why 4 shots was required. You can't explain that to me. But again, most of these situations, when you have body cam, police roll up, it's within like 4 or 5 seconds. Their gun is already out. So this is not a training issue. We've already gone to, this is about training and let's pour, billions of dollars into training. You can't train this mentality out, because the mentality is shoot first, ask questions later. The mentality is, and we've spoken to police whistleblowers from the New York PD and the LAPD. The mentality is that they are under more threat from black and brown people. That is coming to us from veteran police officers. That is the psyche that swirls around these police departments. And part of that is none of them live in the community they're policing. So I'm going to be following it this gen because I want to know more of the facts. But at the end of the day, a 16-year-old child is dead. We don't know what precipitated it. And honestly, before we were going live, again, this is another one. Don't know all the facts. But sheriff's deputy, hold on. Sheriff's deputy placed on leave after fatally shooting North Carolina father of 10. A North Carolina sheriff's deputy fatally shot a father of 10 while he was conducting a search warrant Wednesday morning. Pasquotank County Sheriff Tommy Wooten said the officer has been placed on administrative leave after the shooting. At a news conference Wednesday afternoon, Wooten said a deputy from his department shot Andrew Brown Jr. while serving the warrant with the assistance of another nearby sheriff's office at about 8:30 a.m. Brown, 40, was earlier identified by his family as the victim. News outlet Wavy reports police have not released the name of the deputy nor the race of both men. Authorities provided scant details of the shooting, saying only that an active investigation was underway. Reports said Brown was in his car trying to drive away. Neighbors reported hearing at least 6 shots being fired, but authorities declined to confirm that number. The scene at the shooting was described as tense. as officers put up crime tape in the crowd. Here's the tweet. Family says the man shot and killed by deputies this morning is Andrew Brown, father of 10. Looks black to me. Let me see. Yeah, that's a black man. I don't know the race of the officer who shot him. Again, I know nothing else about that story. But again, because I do know, Jen, you remember this. I was in Texas. We were covering actually the police execution of Botham John. If you don't know that story, 26-year-old black man came here from the Caribbean to study. By all accounts, a great young man, 26, was in his apartment one night when a white officer accidentally thought it was her apartment, shot him dead. Well, while I was there, I learned of another black man that was killed, O'Shea Terry. I think he was 20, maybe 21. And he was killed at point blank range because he was trying to drive away, even though the Arlington police training, this was in Arlington, Texas, was if somebody tries to flee, you call for backup. You don't start literally shooting into their window. So I don't know I have, to be clear, no idea what happened in North Carolina. Could come out that guy had a weapon or was shooting at police. We don't know. But all we know is drove away from the report and they shot in. And to me, this is bigger than this Bryant shooting or this North Carolina shooting. The point is, we're in a country right now where we have to expect at this point that there is going to be police killings, mostly of black men, now black women too, on a multi-week basis. And God knows how many we don't know about that are not trending. At this point, we have to expect, just like the mass shootings, that we're going to get these killings over and over again. You can't reform that. That's not reformable. And by the way, when you're getting, more bullshit wokeness from Biden, let me find this because this is just, oh my God. Jen, did you see this today?
I did not.
Hold on.
So while you're finding that, inverted name 299 in the super chat. You missed the mark on this one. Best of luck on sub. Bye. First of all, thanks for the super chat. If you can't handle someone having a different opinion on one topic than you have, I don't know how you're going to get through life. It is okay for someone to disagree with your opinion. It is good for people to disagree. It is good to have discourse. That's just how people are. No one is going to agree with you 100% of the time. There's a reason you subscribe to us in the first place. Best of luck to you.
Can I say something a little bit more forceful?
Do it.
Bye-bye, fucker. Because I have no tolerance for you fucking snowflakes. I actually rejoice when people do that and say, "Oh, you lost a subscriber." Bye. If we lost a subscriber because we did something irresponsible or something like that, that would be more concerning. But people who literally bolt because their little feelings and opinions aren't being stroked 100% of the time, go watch. Then you literally basically want Fox News or MSNBC. That's basically what you're saying. Well,
no, because even then, like during the election, everyone got mad at Fox News when they wouldn't do the election conspiracy thing because Fox didn't want to get sued. So then they all whined. It went to Newsmax. Everyone's a baby.
The political tribalism and oh my God, we don't agree with you on this take, so we're unsubbing. And we're actually going to make the point of making a super chat to tell you we're unsubbing. Bye-bye. But also, nothing's going to change because this is peak neoliberal identity wokeness without any intention to do anything else. Mr. Biden, President Biden here, hold on. His big idea with these police murders going on is to rename the J. Edgar Hoover FBI building to the Fred Hampton FBI Administrative Campus. So, first of all,
Well, to be honest, like it's not a bad idea, but it's clearly not all we need to focus on, or like it's not a focus.
Actually, I disagree with you because if you know the history with Fred Hampton, he probably wouldn't want this. That's number one.
No, I'm saying to get rid of Hoover's name.
Oh,
I don't like renaming it to Hampton is not a good idea, but you're right on that for
But
sure.
this is the Democratic Party. This is like let's kneel with kente cloth, and
Oh, absolutely.
this is let's put Fred Hampton on a building, even though the FBI won't literally admit that they assassinated Fred Hampton. I don't think Biden's going to push.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Like, Fred Hampton would not want that, but Hoover, like, they're not getting rid of Hoover's name for the right reasons. That's true.
Right, but the point is, you're going to get this woke nonsense. Biden said as a candidate, I think we need to give more money to police for community policing or whatever the hell that means. I tweeted yesterday, and I got a lot of grief for it, but I don't give a damn. Oh, good, Cop Kamala and Crime Bill Joe.
Cop Mala.
Cop Kamala and Crime Bill Joe.
Cop Mala.
Cop Mala and Crime Bill Joe are about to speak on police reform. Okay? Like, this is like Ronald McDonald going up to speak about dieting. I mean, it's absurd. Absurd. And I get it. Well, Jordan, what do you want? He's the president. She's the vice president. Do you want him not to speak? I'd like them to do something. That's what I'd like. I'd like them to do something. Because make no mistake, this is not a state level issue. They like to make it out to be a state level issue. The police unions love to pretend that the federal government has no jurisdiction over policing. That's a bunch of bullshit. Biden could end qualified immunity with a pen. He could end qualified immunity. Alex Salazar, who's a LAPD whistleblower that we interviewed the other day, he was in the narcotics division. Training Day with Denzel Washington is based in part on his division, that narcotics division. He had a great idea. Make police carry insurance. Just like medical people, doctors have to carry insurance, things like that. Make police carry personal liability insurance. You'll see them pause real quick to pull out that gun. There's a lot of things Biden could do, and in fairness, not all on Biden. This precipitates Biden, but he's the president now. Oh, another one. You're feeding a false narrative. Unsubscribe, tosser. Bye-bye.
We have to do some super chats. We missed them. I'm so sorry. They disappear off the screen. Usually if we have someone in the super chat, they send them to us. We don't today. Ken Wu, is Jen serious? If you're talking about the changing the name to the Fred Hampton building, I focused what's the word? Take away my comment. I was focusing on getting rid of the Jagger Hoover part, because I had not heard this news. But I what's the word? I retract my comment, in full. To Tall Kingston, $1 in the super chat. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who left other super chats. Scrolling. Sorry, guys, it's taking a while. Faint signals from Vega. $5 in the super chat. U.S. empire killing black and brown kids overseas. The state killing black and brown kids domestically. If Makia was white, she would still be alive. I fully believe that. I just, everyone now these days points to Kyle Rittenhouse, but you have to, because Kyle Rittenhouse, after murdering, he literally was like, hey, cops, I just killed some folks. And the cops were like, oh, well, go ahead. So how can you not point to that?
Didn't they get him Burger King? Am I?
No, that was Dylan Roof.
Oh, that was Dylan Roof. Sorry.
Who murdered in the black church in Charleston.
And they got Burger King.
Yeah.
And by the way, can I make a point, Jen? And
yep.
John, who's been doing great work out there in Minnesota for us, he, has not. He might have a thought on this. I don't know, like thousands of fucking angry white dudes and gals tried to storm the Capitol, were like literally pushing police down. Remember that? To storm the Capitol?
Well,
Where-
now the narrative is because they said that the cop died of natural causes, and now it's like, oh, now the liberals were wrong.
No, but my point is, did you see any police shoot